So, okay. So in the previous session, we have seen about Ansible ad hoc commands and how these Ansible ad hoc commands can be converted into playbooks. That is what we have seen in the previous session. So for the configuration management and for the demonstration purpose, we have used AWS Cloud. We have chosen 3 instances on the AWS Cloud. One as a controller node, okay, or the manager node, and 2 as the target node. And the minimum requirements for the controller node to connect to the manage node or the target node is, first is the network connectivity. That is a protocol. There is some protocol for the controller node to connect to the manage node. If the 2 nodes are Linux, then the protocol used is SSH. And the second requirement is about the inventory. Inventory is just about the database, the information about the manage node that will be storing, like the IP address, the username, the password, and the protocol used. So these 2 are the basic requirements. And in the first session, we have seen about the PuTTY, the SSH client, how to download the PuTTY and all those things. Here, we are using the PuTTY, and we are logging into the root user of the controller node. So this is one step first. And on the controller node, we are going to install the Ansible. So next is, here we are not, on the controller node, we are not created any inventory yet. Okay. But if you just give a command, okay, this is the command to list the hosts in the inventory file. Since we are not created any inventory, this warning will pop. So first, we have told, right, the first requirement is about the connectivity, and the second is about the inventory. So to create inventory, we have to go to this configuration file, and we have to specify like the IP address. This is just for our reference. Okay, this is not the keyword, just our reference. We can specify the IP address, the username, the password, and the protocol here. Okay, here we have just specified the IP address of the manage node. Okay, and next, if you give this command, we can see that the warning has been gone. Means we have specified, right, the host. It is listing the host in the inventory. But we have not yet specified the username, password, and protocol yet. We're just given the IP address of the manage node in the inventory file. So next is, for example, now we perform remote login using SSH protocol to the root of the manage node. Okay, this is one of the manage node. This is the controller node. Okay, we are using SSH and we are remote login to the manage node. Okay, root. But we get a warning here. This is a permission denied. This is not regarding any Ansible. In AWS, I've written here, you can see in AWS, the root account is blocked because of security reasons. Okay, this is the warning we're getting for that. So first, for this, since we are performing all the demonstration on the AWS cloud, so for that, we have to enable the root here first. So for that, to enable the root, first we have to set the password, root password. Okay, and then we have to go to the configuration file. Okay, and we have to do 2 settings here. One is the password authentication. Into this file, we have to go to the configuration file and we have to set 2 things. One is the password authentication and the permit root login. So these 2 things. Okay, first we have to set the root password using passwd command. Then we have to go to the configuration file and we have to set 2 things here in the configuration file. Okay, you have to uncomment it and you have to set these 2 things. After that, since we are performing some changes in the configuration file, right, we have to restart the service. Okay, once we restart the service, again, we can remote login to the root as a root user to the manage node. This is the steps to, this is just a step to enable the root and remote login to the root. This is nothing regarding the Ansible. Okay. Next, we are yes, we are seeing how to install, means we are performing some configuration management, right, on the manage node. So first we are using a Ansible ad hoc command. Here we are installing a package. The package is HTTPD. Okay. For this, we have we have to tell two things to the Ansible. This Ansible command, we have to specify two things: what to do and where to do. What to do is here the package management, right? We are installing the HTTP package or we are removing the HTTP package. So that is what to do. And where to do, on which managed node. If you specify all, it represents all the managed node. If you specify IP address of one managed node, then we are going to install this HTTP on this particular managed node. If you specify local, we'll tell we are going to install this package local to this system. So two things we have to tell Ansible. One is what to do and the other is where to do. So this is the Ansible ad hoc command. And for the package management, we have a module. This is an attribute and the attribute should be put in double quotes, within the double quotes. Here we are not specifying whether we are installing the package using yum or anything. We're just specifying what we have to do. The Ansible will look into it. What is the base system? What is the command used to install? That will be done by the Ansible intelligence. So here we're just specifying the attributes, the name, that is a HTTPD, and the state. Where status, if it is we're going to install, then it will be present. We are installing the package HTTPD. If it is absent, then we are removing the package. So these are the attributes and it is in the double quotes, that is the -a here. So the package used is -m here. Okay, you need not remember all these keywords. You have a documentation. That documentation links also have shared in the summary here. Okay, so now when you run this command, you can see here, you'll be getting some error. I hope this is clear. This is Ansible command. We are specifying what to do and where to do. Okay. We are getting this error because in the inventory file, while creating the inventory file here, we have not specified the user password. Okay. We have just specified the IP address here. So that is the error that is shown up here when you run the Ansible command here, ad hoc command. Okay. So now we'll go to the inventory file. Okay. So now we can specify the username, the password, and the protocol. So for this, we have how it will know. If you just specify under this root, it will not, Ansible will not come to know whether it is the name of the user, the password, or the protocol. So we have some keywords. Okay, all these keywords can be from the documentation, Ansible documentation. Okay, so here this is the keyword used for the username, the password, and the protocol. For the IP address, you just can specify the IP address. Okay. So after this, okay, then if you run the Ansible command, ad hoc command, it is showing that whatever we are desired, that is what we are desired to install a package HTTP, that desire has been changed or achieved. If you run once again the same command, it will show in green color, meaning that the desired state are already achieved, nothing has to be done. So that is the idempotention of the idempotent function of the Ansible. I hope till here it's clear. And next is how we are going to convert these Ansible ad hoc commands into playbook. That is the thing we have to do, right? In automation, we have to write a playbook. So how we can convert the Ansible ad hoc commands into a playbook. So for this one example we have taken here, that is to configure the managed node as a Apache HTTPD web server. So for this, Sir has shown 3 steps, basic steps, step 1, 2, 3. So first step is to install the package. For this web server, to configure the host or the node as a web server, right? The product uses HTTPD. For that, First step is to install the package HTTPD. So this is the Ansible command for this first step, right? You can test it. Okay, you can run and test it. I told you it should showing in green color because we have already whatever we are desired has been achieved. This is idempotent function. Okay. So the second step is we have to create some web pages, right, on the controller node. So after creating those web pages on the control node, that web pages has to be copied to the manage node, right? So first we will create some pages, right? Using this, we'll create some page, HTML page on the controller node. Okay. And then we will copy that into the manage node, right? So we all know the document root is where www.html. The default document root is this. All the web pages is here in this location. So for that, we can use a copy module here. Copy module, whatever web pages we are created on the controller node that's the source here, that is copied into the destination, right? I hope this is clear, right? So this is the second step, right? We are creating the web pages on the control node and copying these web pages into the manage node. So for that, we can use a copy module. This is the second step. Okay, next coming to the third step is we have to start the service. The service is HTTPD. So we can use a service module and we can use this Ansible header. So 3 commands for the 3 steps. Okay. And then we can, it's very simple. Once you have your Ansible header commands, it's simpler to convert these commands into the playbook. For the playbook, the syntax is YAML. Okay. So for that, we don't require any Ansible command here. And all is also not required to specify every time. We can just copy this and we can convert those. You can copy into a notepad, all those 3 commands. And see these 3 tasks, like 3 steps, right? First, second, third, the package, the copy, the service. These are like tasks, right? So we can put it into a task. So these are list of tasks. We need not specify -m in the playbook, or all can be specified for once. All these modules are run on all the managed node. So for that, you can specify host all. All these modules are run on all the managed node. So these both, right? The keyword host and the value, the key value pair we call, that is separated by the colon. So these are the tasks. So list of tasks is started with hyphen. This represents is a list of tasks that has to be performed on the host. So this is the way we can convert all the Ansible header commands into a playbook. Now, to create that, you can just copy it from here and you can use Vim. Or this is if you use Vim, it's more colorful here. You can use VI also to create a playbook with an extension .yml, and you can just copy this and paste it here, save it, and you can run the playbook. This is the way to convert your Ansible header commands into a playbook. This is what we have seen in the previous session. Just a minute. I hope it's clear till now. Yes, Suman. Suman, just can you elaborate your question? I'm not able to understand your question, Suman. Yes, Vimal sir will be joining in a minute. Suman, just can you reframe your question, or you can just put your question in your on my DM also.
Hey guys, welcome back, and let's continue with this very unique tool. Okay, that is about Ansible, right? So, what exactly the Ansible is, we have discussed in my last class, right? So, today's guys, world is all about automation. I've uh, told you uh, in my last class of the Ansible, and we have also kickstart, guys, the Ansible journey. Okay, so again, this is the one kind of blog from the Ansible website. Okay, so very clearly mentioned over here, complexity kill productivity. Okay, so we as a technical guy, all right, more productive if we are, more idea we can generate, and all those idea or very innovative idea we can put in our own company or in the company where we are working on. Okay, but for this we have some uh, you know some right state of mind should be there. Okay, and it will possible if we are not stuck in the complex scenarios. Okay, mostly the complex scenario come up with we keep on doing same thing again and again, and something like this. So if you whatever you do in our technological world, okay, if you can ask your computers to do the same way the way we are doing, okay, that will uh, do the things very quickly, and it also save our time so we can focus and those skills whatever we innovate. Okay, we will use in our enterprise world to increase their business. All right, so technology is our innovation engine, right? For this, how quickly you deliver, how much time you get, how much you does not stuck in the complexity is an entire game, right? And that's what Ansible is talking about. So that's what I explained you guys in my last class. Okay, so if you want to save the time and more productivity, if you want to eliminate the repetitive task, and if you do the task by ourselves, we human being is very prone to do the mistakes and error. Okay, so if you automate, those things won't be challenging for you. Okay, and for the enterprise company perspective, if you automate the things, your company, for you are the resources for the company, will be more engaged in the innovation world rather than they stuck in the unwanted things, right? So all the things I explain you guys in my last class. Okay. Ansible also love repetitive work. We human being hate. We don't want to do the same task again and again. Okay. But computer love it because Ansible work in a computer is like a kind of program that we have already started in my last class. All right. So all the repetitive tasks, and mostly in the organization, in the company, we mostly engage with the same task again and again. Let me first set my screen. So mostly we engage with the same task again and again. So what can we do? We can figure out which all the tasks in the corporate world in a project we have to do almost every time again and again. Okay. And we'll take this task and try to automate this rather than we do, because we know how to do this. So rather than we do, because that is not for it is not for the learning perspective, right? We have to do it. So why not we ask the Ansible or any automation tool to achieve it? Okay. So even though you can see this kind of code for multiple companies, so the head of the platform from some company, they say after using Ansible, okay, what a task they're doing in 17 hours, it cut down to 3 minutes. Think guys, how much time they are saving. And they have to pay to the employee per hour basis, per hour, per mandate, per day, per hour basis, right? How much cost this company is saving. And plus their team is being engaged in more innovation, right? So my point here is this is how I started in my last class also. We have already started Ansible. Some of the Ansible playbook also were built in my last classes. We'll go to the next level today. But I'm trying to again revise what we have discussed, why we need automation and how Ansible is helping us. And a lot more example we can give. If in the Ansible, right, the interesting thing in Ansible is very simple. The way we write the code, we don't need any special programming skills. We just use very human readable way of format that's called YAML file, or with the help of YAML file, we can write the code. So Ansible is very, very simple. Okay. And interesting thing is in the Ansible that mostly we have to do in any other automation tool. Okay. So interesting thing in the Ansible, the way we have set up the environment, what happened normally, the system or where we write the Ansible code, and from system where we execute this code or run this code. Okay, this code will run in some of your target computers that I told you in my last class called managed computers. Okay, so what happened when you run the code? This code will go to this computer and run and automate these computers. Okay, or this code will go to this computer and configure this system automatically, the way I explained you in my last class. Okay, how? With the help of Ansible code. Okay, but interesting thing is, okay, the how Ansible work. If you guys notice in my last class, okay, in this target computer, let's say this computer number A, this is computer number B, this may be Ubuntu, this may be Red Hat, this may be Windows. Okay, you don't need to install any program here. Okay, what I mean by this, okay, what happened normally, okay, if you want this system to be automated, okay, or I want this system to be configured, this is called configuration, okay, by some tool, and some tool is going to manage the configuration of this computer. This is called configuration management. And if you want the configuration management to be done by in an automated way, so we need some kind of automation tool. In this case, we are using Ansible. But let's say this is a computer number A, and I want this computer is going to, I want to perform some automation here. I want to configure the system. Okay. So if you want to configure the system, now it is your choice. Either you can log in the system and manually configure. This is one choice we have, but I don't want to go for manual. Other choice I told you in my last class, either you log into this system okay, and run some shell scripting. They will also help us to automate, but again, I don't want to use shell scripting. I told you in my last class, the challenge in the shell scripting is, okay, they are not the intelligent language. They work in an imperative way, means we have to tell what to do and how to do. Okay, I don't want to use this. Or third way, okay, what can you do? Again, you can use some kind of scripting languages. They are mostly known as automation languages. You can use okay, but these languages are more like a declarative approach, means you have to tell only what to do. How to do, they are very, very intelligent to perform. Okay, again, what we have discussed in my last class called Ansible. So Ansible is one of the example of this kind of language. Okay, but Ansible is not only the product. We have Puppet also. It's one competitor of Ansible. We have SAF also, one competitor of Ansible. So they do almost the same thing what Ansible is doing, but the approach is different. Okay, approach is different. How they do, again, in the Puppet and SAF also, we have some kind of central server, central controller, manager, whatever we say. So we write the code here and we can run the code here. Okay, this is a different computer. Let's say this computer is IP 100, this computer is IP 200. Okay, so what happened, guys? From this computer, if you want to manage this computer, that is mostly known as managed node or the target node. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to send the code over the network. After this code has been sent to this computer, then some program we need here who collect this code. Okay, and this program is the one who collect the code from this central computer or the manager computer, mostly known as controller node. This is a target node. So in the target node, we need some kind of program. Okay, this program has a two responsibility. One, they will first collect this code coming from the network. So when you execute this code will go and send there. So this program we need to collect the code. And after this code reach to A, this program is the one who run this code on the computer number A. Why we have to run here? Because this code is the one who going to configure this computer. How? Automatically. So without this program is very, very harder to collect the code and run the code. Okay, and this program mostly known as in this world, in this kind of world, this program mostly known as agent program. It means in your target computer, you need the agent or the agent program. It means if you have 10,000 target node, so you have to install agent program in all the nodes. Okay, and without the agent program, your automation tool does not work. Okay, so if you go for this tool like Puppet, like SAF, okay, their setup, their architecture, right, the way they set up is been done, they work on the agent way. Means in all the target computer or the managed node, we have to install the agent. We have to install the agent. If agent not there, it won't work. It means if you want to take one more computer and want to make this computer as a target node, maybe let's say Windows, maybe let's say Linux. Okay, you can automate this computer. Okay, only after you install the agent. So first thing that you have to do, first you have to install the agent here. So this extra burden come up. After agent installed, then only the central computer can be able to manage this computer. Okay, so mostly, not all, but mostly all the automation tool, whichever the node or target node they are going to manage, we have to install the agent there. Agent there. Okay, But there is a one advantage in the Ansible. As a Ansible guys work agentless. There's one quick difference between the Ansible and the other tools. It means, okay, it means you have one controller node that you use against for same thing, running the code, writing the code and running the code. Okay. But here, all these computers, wherever going to manage, you don't need to install any program beforehand. You don't need to install any agent here beforehand. Without installing any agent from the Ansible, we have a capability to automate this computer or to manage this computer. If you guys remember in my last class, the way I add the target node, I haven't installed anything here. I just launched this computer and now things start working for us. Okay. So in the Ansible point of view or Ansible perspective, they say, I am the Ansible. You just have to manage me in the controller node. Means just write a code and run the code. That's all. Okay. Your one computer or 10,000 computer, new computer gonna come up. Okay. It does not matter. I'm ready to use it. I'm ready to configure this guy automatically. Because I don't need to first install some extra program here. This guy automatically. Because I don't need to first install some extra program here. That is called agent program. And that is the reason Ansible work in a concept called agentless. That's what guys this website talking about. The architecture of the Ansible is the agentless. Okay, there's no agent there. Because installing the agent is not the only thing, right? Sometimes if you install the agent, it's a one program. This program run on this system. Let's say this is a virtual machine. This program consume extra RAM and CPU. This program, if the bug come up by chance, this program, the entire system may be compromised. Okay, any new updates come in the agent, you have to upgrade the agents also. So a lot of extra overhead come up in the terms of agent management, right? Or the program management. Okay, that's what they're talking about. There's no exploit, there's no update because there's no agent in the Ansible world. There's also one of the thing that differentiate the Ansible from their competitor. Okay, that's called Puppet and the Ceph. Anybody who ever work on Puppet and Ceph, even though they have some extra way to set up the agentless, they also now start supporting. But I'm not going for that part right now. But the core level, Puppet and Ceph, the competitor of Ansible, they work on the agent concept. The architecture is on the agent architecture. Okay, so that's what is one more thing, right? Otherwise, there's a lot of things because we just started our program, this training. Okay, and I just want to tell you one more time, we are into the Red Hat RS-294 training that is going on. I think this is the second or third class, I believe. Okay, well, in the last class, guys, I explained you about what is Ansible. Okay, how they work, what is automation kind of thing. And in the last class, we have started how to write the Ansible code. Okay, so even the last class, I have started ad hoc commands. I also started the Ansible playbook. We have discussed about the inventory, how to connect to the inventory and the controller node, all the things we have discussed in the last classes. So we'll take this topic to the today's class to the next level. Okay, but I want to add one more point. I wanted to add this point also, that Ansible unique thing from their competitor is they work on the agentless. It's one unique thing about the Ansible. Okay, so let's continue what we are going to do today. Okay, again, I'm going to do the same setup and I want to take this setup to the next level. I'm going to launch 3 computers today, fresh new computers. Okay, does not matter, they would be anywhere in the world. Okay, but I want this computer number A and computer number B would be my target node or the managed node, and computer number, let's say C, would be my controller node or the manager node. Okay. So one thing that you have to know about the controller node is, in the controller node, you have to install the Ansible. Okay. And now in the new version of the Ansible, I told you already, the new version of Ansible is known as Ansible core. What core contain? Your Ansible runtime. When I say runtime, it is known as Ansible engine. Engine means who run your code, who execute your code. Okay. So what we put in the controller node, we put two things in the controller node. We put the code that you guys know is called playbook, one file that contain multiple play. Okay. In the controller node, let's say this IP 100. And second thing we put in this computer is the Ansible engine. What is Ansible engine? The engine is the one who execute your code. Okay. So it is also known as, I can say, engine is the one who execute my code or give the execution environment. This was the one term I can use, even though this term has a big meaning altogether. Okay. So if you guys was with me in my yesterday webinar that I talk about this, EE is one very unique concept we add in the Ansible automation platform. Okay. I'm talking about this platform. Okay, but I'm just giving this one quick word here. Okay, so in the control node, we need these things. Okay, and we talk about, when we talk about execution engine, it means how you want to execute your code. Do you want to execute your code as a playbook? Then the name of the command who execute my code is called Ansible playbook, is a command name. Okay, but if you don't want to write a code, you want to run directly as a command line, as a normal command, then the execution engine command name is called Ansible, only Ansible. Okay, and the latest version of the Ansible, this command has been changed with a new command that we'll see in the next classes onward. Okay, so those new command would be, instead of Ansible or Ansible playbook, those command is called navigator, Ansible navigator. What is navigator? I will discuss in next class, most probably tomorrow. Okay, I don't want to discuss right now. Right now, my motto is to those who are very new in Ansible, I'm trying to tell you how Ansible works by using this previously exist command. It means you will have both the knowledge, what is exist previously and what is exist in new tool. So if you guys working on some company, if they're using some older version of Ansible, you should know how they work there. And in the newer version of Ansible, you also know from upcoming classes how they work. Okay, but the way we write the playbook is almost same. All the concept we're writing CMD command is almost same. There might be some differences, maybe we will discuss in upcoming classes whenever any particular difference gonna come up. Okay. So this is what, guys, we have discussed in my last class. I've added some more pointer today. Okay. So I'm going to launch 3 computers. All the computers will be Red Hat version 9. Okay, but in my last class, I show you the demonstration. You can also connect with the Ubuntu also. Okay, and there I show you how the intelligence work. Okay, and that is called RHEL, resource abstraction layer. So let me launch 3 computers. Okay, I'm giving this name Red Hat 9 for Ansible. Okay, and I'm using Red Hat. This is called version 9. Okay, because version 9 by default come up with Ansible core or the newer version. Okay, I'm using to micro. I don't have the key. Let me create a key, is a private key, so I can log in. So let's say Ansible key new AWS, right? And I'm downloading the key in the PPK format, so I can connect using PuTTY. Great. So this get downloaded and nothing much. Plus, and because this I'm launching the AWS cloud, they have their own personal firewall. So let me allow this thing. We're going to configure my web server. So AWS firewall does not stop to access my web server from outside world. So I'm allowing this. It is not from the Ansible perspective, neither from Red Hat perspective. It is from the AWS cloud. I'm allowing their firewall, right? And I'm launching 3 computers totality, right? And that's all. So it is your choice. Setup is exactly same. If you want to launch in AWS or Google Cloud or local VM, the setup for the Ansible is same. Okay. The way we do this Ansible thing is same. So wherever you guys are comfortable, you can do your setup there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure this to computer. Okay. And interesting thing, you don't need to configure anything. Only thing you will tell your controller node one more thing about the inventory like database. I told you in my last class. So tell I have 2 managed computer that you have to manage. That's called inventory. And I told you in my last class what inventory contain. They contain the IP address of this computer, the username of this computer, the password of that system, or what kind of connections you want to use. So if you are Linux, then you have to use SSH protocol. And if you're using Windows, then you can use WinRM protocol. That's also you can see from this website. Okay. This kind of protocol you have to use. Okay. So all the things we have discussed already in my last class. So let's have this setup very, very quickly ready so we can go more deep into the playbook. Okay. And I would like to tell you one more thing. Okay. Right now we are learning in 294 as a training. The whole objective of this program, we want this very, very important training module. And after you learn this training, then you will go for the examination. And after you go for the examination, then after this training only, Red Hat give their main training certificate, or not the training, I can say exam certificate called RSCE. RSCE is one of the world known as #1 certification program in the world at this level, right? So RSCE is one title you can achieve after pass this examination. Obviously, you have to pass RSCSA also first, but RSCSA you can achieve only after you pass this examination as a final outcome. Okay, I'm talking about this examination, RSCE. Okay, so there's one thing, but the whole objective of this training program, guys, is to train you in the Ansible code. How you can write the Ansible code. So whatever possible in the Ansible code, there's a lot of advanced topic gonna come up. Okay, so this training 294 RS294 is completely devoted to how to write the code in the Ansible. Okay, now after you learn how to write the code, this code you can run directly here by this command. Okay, you can run directly the way we're using in the last class, or this code you can deploy on the top of, there's one very powerful tool in the Ansible called Ansible Tower. Okay, I want to add one more term here. Anyone who write the code in the Ansible, they are normally known as creator or automation creator. This is what the term we use in the real world for the title. So they are the automation code or automation code creator. Sometimes also known as content creator, because code here is also known as content creator. I can say it's like a developer. So we are the one who are going to be developer, because we are going to write a code in a language called YAML. You guys know we use this language. Okay. And so after content creator create this code, now either they can run this code directly the way we are using in the last class, or they can put this code in the Ansible Tower. It's a one kind of powerful management tool. Almost every company use this way to manage the code and run the code. Okay, they don't use direct way. They use Ansible tower kind of tool. Okay, to run and manage the code. But if you want to work on the Ansible tower, okay, minimum requirement is you need to create the content or the code. Then only you can put there. Then only you can manage there. Okay, and that is a reason. Okay, learning 294, the training we are doing is very, very important. Okay, then only you are eligible to work on the Ansible tower, or you can put the things there. Okay, and I told you, if you guys was with me in my yesterday webinar, okay, now instead of Ansible tower, there's one more new platform created by the Red Hat. It's called AAP, Ansible Automation Platform. Okay, that has a lot more capability if you was with me. But again, to work on AAP, again, the minimum requirement is to know how to write the content or how to create the code. Okay, so whatever code we create, the way we create is same. There is no change. But only thing is, who is going to manage the code, execute the code? AAP platform. I'm talking about this platform. This one. Okay, Ansible Automation Platform, AAP. Okay, so if you was with me in my yesterday Ansible webinar, this is the platform I was talking about. Okay, so my point here is just to give you the idea that if you have this platform, does not mean we can directly jump to this platform. You should know how to create the code and the content. Okay, you should know Ansible code concepts. Okay, how to write a playbook, something like this. Then only, okay, you can use this platform. But this platform give you lots more benefit. The way I explained you in my last class, Mass and Automation Hub, Insight, Service Catalog, controllers. There are different points. That's what we need in the real world. Okay, but the minimum requirement is create a content. So that is the reason, if you want to learn this training, okay, or learn the Ansible tower, you should know Ansible core basics. Okay, you should know this. Okay, at least but what basic we have done in my last class, at least that level you should know. So, so I just want to differentiate so there will be no doubt left, right, to be on this area. Okay, and by the way, guys, for your knowledge, because a lot of guys is a part of my Ansible training, tower training. So tomorrow we are starting this training. Okay, for your knowledge, I believe you might know this. So tomorrow, guys, we are starting this very, very uniquely an enterprise level product that we use in the company, right? I told you we don't use Ansible directly. Okay, knowledge we require. Okay, in the real world, we use a product. Okay, and mostly we use Ansible tower. Okay, so tomorrow, guys, we are starting one Reddit authorized training called 447. Most of the guys, I believe, over here is a part of this training. Very quickly, if I show you 447 Red Hat, this is one training we are starting. Also, it is known as Ansible Advanced. Why they use the advanced? Okay, advanced does not means there's some advanced code. Advanced means we are using some advanced product. Okay, that's called Ansible tower. Okay, so all the thing about Ansible tower, from CI/CD pipeline to Git to workflow. Okay, 100 more things they have that we are going to start from tomorrow. Only prerequisite to learn the Ansible tower is you should know about playbook. Okay, what kind of playbook? What we have did in my last class. So that level of knowledge, if you have how to write a basic level playbook, even though today we go to next level, but if you know how to write a basic level playbook, a little bit about inventory that you know already in last class, that much level of knowledge is sufficient to learn the Ansible tower. Let's go 447. And just for one knowledge, just I don't want you to confuse. Okay, Ansible tower is one of the component of AAP. So I think most of guys yesterday registered with us with AAP also. Okay, so and in AAP, one of the topic is Ansible tower. one of the part of the AP is Ansible Tower. So if you're learning Ansible Tower, it means you're also learning one small part of the AP also. Okay, just to knowledge for this knowledge. So, so tomorrow, guys, we'll start Ansible Tower, and let's continue. But today about Ansible Playbook. Okay, so yeah, so let's start and pick first computer. So I'll go, guys. Today we'll focus completely on the hands-on and the practical. So I'm making this computer as the controller node. Okay, controller node means this is the computer. I'm using this IP address. Okay, this is a computer on which we will install the Ansible engine. Okay, 1 minute. Take a lot of time to search. One minute, guys. I don't know, my system is really slow today. One minute. Yeah. So I'm logging with this account in AWS, and I have my key that I already downloaded. Come on, where's the option for the key? Guys, have you able to see this option? Yeah, I know some options they change actually. Private key for authentication, right? Okay, and this is a key I downloaded. Yeah. So let's start from here. So guys, we have all done this this part very quickly. I just want to revise, then we go for the next part. Change setting, appearance. Let me increase the font, bold. Let me change color also, and I don't want bell ring. Yeah. So this is my controller node. Let me log in. Okay, and I'm going to install one software called Ansible Core. Okay, that's all. So this system now work as Ansible controller node. Okay, that's what system C has been configured. We have seen this part in my last class. Okay, so Ansible Core is installing is 2.3. So Ansible 2.9 onward, they changed a lot of things in the Ansible. So whoever learned Ansible 2.9 older version, okay, we don't have this concept called core, and that too is called navigator. We'll see in the upcoming classes. So this will give you lots of Ansible things, new things. Okay, what are new things we will discuss. Okay, but right now we know about the Ansible command and the Ansible playbook. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to create the inventory here. This is a minimum requirement, because right now if you ask how many inventory we have, list of hosts, this command we have seen in the last class. I don't have any inventory. Okay, so you have to create the inventory. So this is the file you have to use for creating the inventory. Okay, I don't have vim command. Let me install the vim command I normally need. So vim is a software that give the vim command to you. Okay, so I need inventory. So you can create over here. So inventory would be your other computers who you want to manage. So in my case, I would like to manage these computers. So this have the public IP, this IP would be anywhere in the world. And one more computer that I have right now is this computer. This computer will be anywhere in the world. Okay. Obviously, for connecting, you need the IP address. You give the username and you give the password. Okay, this is a minimum requirement to give. But I told you guys, by chance in AWS Cloud, they does not allow to log in with some password with the root account. So let me do one small setting once. Even though we have some other way also with our root account also, we can do the settings with our password also. How we will discuss in upcoming classes, but right now let me do it in the simple way. So I'm logging a new session here of Putty with this IP address. This is one of my managed node. I'm logging here. Why? I show you my last class already. What I'm doing here in this computer, I'm logging to the root account. There's an internal file of SSH. Okay. In this file, it has been written, if somebody tried to log in to the root account, prohibit this with the password. I say don't prohibit it, allow this. That's what we discussed in the last class. And plus, it has also been written in this file, don't allow password authentication. I say yes, allow it. Okay. Save. And I change something in the file, so I have to restart my SS service. That's all. Now in this computer, we can log in. Very quickly, let me check. So from this computer, I'm trying to log into this computer. Okay. So they say you want to connect. I say yes. They're asking the password for the root account. I don't know the password. I will set the password also. I'm setting the password for the root account. Okay. And give the password. Done. So that's what we did in the last class, right? So in Ansible node, I can say the password is Red Hat and the username is root. Okay, same thing I have to do in the other computer also. So we can do the things very quickly now. So this is also one of the computer. Let me go and open the new session. Same way, EC2 user, one-time setup. Okay, but if you notice, guys, I am not installing any agent here. Okay, agent is a one kind of program. So in the target node, we are not installing it because by chance we don't know the login password. So I'm setting it only for first time, right? So same thing, etc. This is the one folder. I'm allowing the root uncomment this line. And I say yes. I'm doing quickly to quicker because we have seen in the last class this setup. Yes. And let me set the password root and restart the services. And I want to quickly check also this side. SSH, I am trying to log in to this IP. So was working successfully. Okay. So thing is there, right? So this setup has been done, guys, whatever we're looking for. So I know the details of my A and B computers. Okay. And from this detail, what can we do? We can now set up the inventory. Before set up the inventory, okay, you should know the syntax of the inventory. You don't have to memorize. So I search for Ansible inventory. They give me this file. They give me the keyword. What keyword we have to write? Okay, we don't have to memorize these keywords. Okay, and here in this last line, I told you, depend on the requirement, what we are looking for. We are looking for the Ansible user and the Ansible password. So let me check Ansible user and the password. Okay, so this is Ansible underscore user and this is Ansible underscore password. Okay, same thing we have to write for this guy. By chance, both system has the same user and password. If you are different, you can write different also. But yeah, that's all. inventory has been done. Okay. How to test thing is working or not. Right now, I can use this command. We have 2 IP addresses, but to check the thing is working fine or not. Ansible has one module, that's called ping module. Okay. So when you get the inventory first time, it's good practice to check the connectivity and check all the settings done or not, check the login and password right or not. We can use a ping module. This will tell you. If you see the success, you do ping, they reply with pong. But if everything's success, it means both the target node 91 and 113. So this is 91 and this is 113. They have successfully connected, means our connection is right and we are ready to manage this computer. So there's a ping module we can use to quickly test the things. So guys, the setup is done. Now we are going to use the setup for our next purpose. And guys, in my last class, I give you the approach. In my last class, I've given the approach. Okay, approach, what I given you in my last class is, okay, whatever you want to configure or set up, okay, how automatically, just plan it, write down the steps, and slowly convert those steps into the Ansible way. Okay. And after you convert the step, then convert those steps into the playbook. So in the last class, guys, I've given you the entire class on this topic. Because if you want to configure, let's say, web server, every organization team has a different way to configure web server. They have a different step to perform. You know what you want to perform. Okay. So what to do, you should know. Okay. Just tell the Ansible know how to do this for you. You don't have to tell the commands to the Ansible. They will perform for you because from their intelligence, right? But you should know what to do. What are the steps you have to perform? Ansible does not know your requirement, right? So that I explained you in my last class. I don't want to discuss further. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now in this computer, I'm going to create a separate folder. We're going to keep my code. And the folder where you keep your code is mostly known as a workspace. So there's a workspace for me. And I'm going to create a code. You can give any file name, but action should be YAML because I write a code in the YAML language. This is called playbook. So this is my playbook. Okay. And what I'm going to write here, I'm going to write a keyword called host all. Means I want to apply my playbook on all the inventory I have. But I have 2 inventory. Okay, A and B. So I want to apply this code in all the inventories or all the IP addresses or all the target nodes. Okay, and what task I want to perform? Okay, so here you can give a list of tasks. List code task. Okay. So in my last class, I have given the task called package module. Okay, package module. What package module is doing? This helping you is a task name or the module name. What is module? I explained you again in the last class, but very quickly. If I open Ansible package module. So this module give the Ansible a way how to install the packages, softwares, without knowing their underlying commands. So this module we can run in the IP address for Ubuntu, for Red Hat. We don't need to know the Ubuntu command or the Red Hat command. Package is intelligent. They auto figure out, hey, you are the Ubuntu I know, or you are the Red Hat I know. I will call your respective commands. So task or module, same thing. Okay. And they are the one who give internally the intelligence to the Ansible. Okay. For every purpose, we have a module available. For every use case, we have a module available. Means to installing the package, we have a module. To starting the services or managing services, we have the module. Okay. For copying something here and there, we have the module. Okay, so every purpose, that's called every use case, every requirement, we have modules available. These are the modules we have discussed in my last classes. Okay, in the last classes. Let me a little bit increase this font. So I'm just writing the same code what I did in my last class. Very quick revision. Then I take this code to the next level, right? Okay, so let's say I want to do something in a package. I want to store the package known as HTTPD. Is a software name, HTTPD. And I want the software to be present. Okay, so this task completed. This is exactly what I did in the last class, right? I want this name, software name to be installed, and I want state to be present. Okay, then what I want, I want in my current computer, I have one file, let's say index.html. I want this file to be uploaded to the destination called where www HTML folder. So this file I have my local computer. Let me copy in my local computer. So in this folder, I'm going to create this file. It's created by one of my developer. I say, hi, I am Ansible website. Okay. Web site. Okay, this file is there. So this file is there in a local computer. So copy module is the one who helped me to copy this file to a remote computer in this folder. Which computer? In all the computer. So just while running one line, if a 10,000 computer, this file will copy in all the computer. This software will be installed in all the computer. And then you want your service to be started. Which service? Your service name, this one, and I want my service state to be started. So this was the exact code we created step by step. I show you step by step in my last class. If you miss, guys, my last class, that was very important. Okay. Especially last class, I show you the step by step and the approach also to create the code the way I write here. Okay, don't jump to this code directly. You should know the approach that I explained in my last class, right? And finally, we landed to this code. So this was the last thing we did in my last class, right? Okay, and let me save this code. And this is called playbook. And to run the playbook, we have an Ansible playbook command. So this computer number 84 in my case is controller node, and controller node is the one who keep the playbook and who have the Ansible engine to execute this playbook. Right now, the command I'm using here to execute is Ansible playbook command. When I run this computer will be configured as a web server. How I know? Right now, if anybody who know my IP address of any of this controller node, okay, if they hit, there's no website is opening. Neither on this computer, neither on this computer. But as soon as the playbook run, entire website has been configured. Okay, enter. So we are running this playbook in all the computer, and we have all means there 2 IP address. We are installing packages in both the IP address 91 and 113. See here, something orange color come up. It means package has been installed. Again, orange color come up. File has been copied. Again, orange color come up. Server has been changed. So 3 changes we did in 91 computer or 113 computer. There's a playbook run successfully. It means it look like now this system has configured with this new website. Other computer also configured with the new website exit copy, because we are running the same playbook in both the computers. Okay, that's what we have done. Okay, the thing is working fine. Yeah, if you run the playbook one more time, I told you in my last class, and Ansible work in a concept called idempotent, means they find out the package if already installed, they skip this part. Like copy all installed, they skip this part. So nothing to change. Everything is coming green color, nothing to change. Okay, that's a good thing to have to increase the performance. Okay. So let's talk more about. So this was the guys last discussion we did. Okay. Now one more thing I want to add. Okay, guys. This is what the task. This is what the module. For example, service is the one module or one task. So if you search Ansible, do you have a service module? Yes. In this module, what can we do? We can manage the services, start, stop. What are the parameters you support? These are the different parameters you have. You can give the service name of the service. We have given HTTPD. You can start the thing, stop, start, reload. That's what we do. What else you can do? For example, if you guys, those who know about services, let's say this is the computer where the service starts. Okay, let me increase this phone a little bit. This is one of my target node. And this system where your service starts. Okay, this system where you manage the things. So without coming to the system, guys, you can see the software has been installed because of this line. The file has been copied to this folder. So this file copied, okay, to the remote computer because of this line, and service has been started of HTTPD. See here, service started because of this line. But if you notice one thing, okay, service start at this runtime, but it disabled. This disabled normally means in Linux, it means this service is not permanent enabled. It means if your system reboot, service automatically disabled. Okay, right now it's running, but after system reboot, they will automatically stop. It means after every reboot, you have to start the services. It means it's not permanent. It's called not permanent at the boot time. So if you want your service to be permanent, you make it enable here. How? We have a command for this, but let's say I don't know the command. By chance, if you know about Red Hat, the command systemctl enable command. But systemctl enable command work on Red Hat 7, Red Hat 8, Red Hat 9. Any previous version of Red Hat, they does not have systemctl enable command. In the previous version of Red Hat, the command was check config. This was the command we use in older version of Red Hat 4, 5, or 6 to make your service permanent enabled. Okay, or maybe in Ubuntu we have a different command. So again, what I explained you in my last class of Ansible make the thing intelligent. You should now don't need to know which version you are using, which command they use to perform this activity. Anything related to services, you only know one thing, that we have a service module. As this module, do you have any way to permanent my service? Okay, so they will say, yes, we have a way. We have an enable command that will start a service at the boot time. Okay, so you can use enable keyword with yes or true. Okay, so here we can write one more keyword. I want my service to be enabled equals to yes. How I know this keyword? From this document. Okay, yes or true we can write here. Let me use true. Okay, now what you see, I changed something in my playbook, not in this line, not in this line, only in this line, only in this task. So now if I run my playbook again, okay, they auto detected what change you have done. You didn't change anything in the package, they didn't change anything in the copy, but you change the services. They change here. See here, orange color come up. So only change whatever you done, they will update this because Ansible work on a concept of state. Whatever you're looking for is your desire. They see whatever your desire is there available at the current time. No. So this is a current state and this is the desired state. If both are different, then they apply this code. Okay. So this is what we write in the code. Whatever we write in the code is called desired state. Okay. They compare in your target computer. This is my target computer. This is the current state. If not same, then they apply. And now if you run this command again one more time, you can see this has been changed to enabled because I run the code already. Okay, because I run the code. But if I run my code again one more time, they say current state equals to desired state. That does not apply in the playbook. They skip that part. Okay, so there's one thing we told you. Now it means in one package, not package, one module. Okay, there might be multiple key value pair, multiple properties, multiple attributes. If you keep on writing sometimes very big, something very big, it's very harder to read, right? So we go out sometime inside this screen also. So that easy reason is good practice. Okay, or not to write a code in this way. This also right, but better practice to write the code is something like this. Okay, this is individual key value pair. Key value pair. So what can you do? Remove this double quote, enter, because this is the YAML code. Service is a main key, and this is a value of the service. So give some extra indent and give this key value pair here, second here, and third here. And that's all. This makes your code more readable. And because you're writing every key value pair individually, and because in the YAML code, we normally differentiate key value pair with the colon. So this is colon and this space here. Give me indent. This is a key value. This is a key value. And name, state, this one, these are all the things, all the three key value pairs belong to service. So you should have write the equal indent. What is indent? I explained you in my last class. Okay. So now if you see this code, this could look more clear. Okay. What I mean by this, let me explain you. Okay. By looking at this line, everything is coming in the straight line, equal spaces. This called indent. It means all the three things belong to same block of code. Which block of code? Service, because they have equal indented with respect to service. So they are block of code of service. This is one thing. Second thing is, because we write everything individual in every line. So this is a different key value pair. This is a different key value. This is a different key value pair. Because key value pair means this key, then value, we write a colon here. Why? Because this is a YAML code. In YAML for code, we write colon between key and value pair. Okay. Why we should write the code in this way? Because in the future in service we have more key value pair, we can keep writing in the down beneath this. Otherwise, if you keep writing the straight line, sometimes the code is, multiple key value pair gonna come up. Okay, so very harder to read the code. So there would be a readability issue. So that is the reason, guys, whenever you see any Ansible code in the market, normally you will see the code in this format only. This is also right, but there's a better way to write. Okay, and second thing is, name is a key, attribute is a value. This value we have given, so it's good practice to put in double quote. Any value that we give as a string, put in the double quotes. Started is the predefined value. If you see here, started is a predefined value. It is given by as a one of the choice of this key. Any value that is predefined, don't put in the double quotes. True is also like Boolean, don't put in double quotes. Okay, even though without double quotes also it works, but with good practice, sometime it will help you in the future. Same thing I'm doing with the copy also. Let me remember double quotes. SRC is a key, colon, this is a value, destination is a key, colon, this is a value. And because both the things belong to copy, you properly indent in same line. If you give extra space, they give the syntax error. And both the value, because we have given, so the good practice is like a string, put in the double quotes. Same thing I'm doing with the package also. So there's a better way to write this code. But it is a predefined value, so I'm not putting the double quotes. How I know? We can see the document. Okay, so this is the better code in terms of readability. Look like we have 3 packages, and every package has a multiple key value pair and the properties. Okay, so now onward, guys, I'm going to write a task in this way only. We can very quickly confirm by running this. If any issues come up, they will tell you. Okay, but it's good practice, guys. Before run the code, you always check the syntax. So Ansible playbook, if you see the help of this command, they come with an option called check, syntax check. Okay, so it's good practice before run the code, always check the syntax. Mostly while initial learning practice, very commonly, syntax might be wrong. So they say there's no wrong, so there's no error. But otherwise, if you run this code, if you give unwanted space also here, extra space, just one small space. According to the YML perspective, this is the indentation error. Entire block of code or package should be in the same line. Okay. So here we see the syntax check, they give the error. They say in this file around somewhere line 5, column 10, with some extra space here, is offending line, is indentation error in YML. So we won't allow to run. Even if you try to run also, they won't run. You can't run the code also. Okay. So syntax check is a good tool over here, or option here to check the syntax. Okay, there's no syntax error. Now we're good to go for running the code. So now onward, guys, I'm going to write the code, always check the syntax, then we will perform the automation here. Okay, this is one thing. One more thing, guys, we can do here is, okay, right now we have only one inventory contain two nodes. Okay, but in a real world, if you have one or two computers, there's no meaning of automation. Automation is mostly if you have bigger environment. Okay, so there's a possibility we have one computer, one more 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 instances, one more VM, one more instance, one more laptop server, whatever you say. Okay, and normally what we wanted to do, I don't want to configure web server in all the computers. Okay, maybe these 6 computers, I want all these 6 computers to be configure for the web server. Okay, and I want all remaining this computer will be configured maybe for a database server or maybe something else. Okay, but if you write right now we have 12 computer, we write all the 12 computer information in the inventory file. So where we have the inventory file, here we have the inventory file. All the computer right here. It's compulsory in the Ansible to tell the inventory. Okay, because inventory contains your information, your username, password, other things also. It's compulsory to have. Otherwise, without writing the inventory, you can't configure anything in the Ansible. So having the inventory is compulsory. But in the inventory, right, this all means all the IP address. If, for example, if you have 12 computer, 12 IP you have to write here. If you write all 12 IP address, and then if you run the playbook, they apply in all the computers. But I don't want all the computer configured as a web server. So one approach would be, instead we write all, we can type individual IP address, let's say 1, then comma, then third IP, then comma, 6 IP. This is one of the approach I can use to write their respective IP addresses. Okay, only this computer will be configured. Okay. For example, let me type one of the IP address. So one of the IP address of my one of the computer is this one. I can type only this IP. So this inventory going to run only this IP only. Okay, or this playbook will run only on this IP only this IP. Okay, or if you have more IP address, you can put the comma here and put more IP address. Okay, but sometime if you have 6 IP or 10 IP or 100 IPs, okay, then putting all the IPs in this file does not make any sense. Okay, so what can we do? We can create a group. Okay, what I can do, let's say this IP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All those computer, we can create a one group. And this group, we can give a name. Name would be anything, whatever feel like. Let's say I give a group called web group. So these are different computer. This is a different host. So this is normally known as host group. And this host group, you can give a name. Again, these are different computer, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can create a different group. And this group, we can give a name. Let's say this will be DB group. Now, it is your choice what group you want to give. Okay, you can give the name Web, BB, Team 1, Team 2, Project A, Project B, Data Center 1, Data Center 2, India, US. Is it up to you, whatever way you want to group the computers? Okay, how to group is pretty simple. So in the inventory file, okay, it should create a group we write in this way. So, but this is one of the IP, this is one more IP, this one more IP, this one more IP. Okay, right now all IP belongs to some internal group. Name of that group, that is the internal group, is called all. So all is the guys keyword here. That is actually the group name, actually list host. So if I see all, they print all IP you have in the inventory. So all is a special group that cover all the host in the inventory file. It's a special group name. But I want this 2 IP at the top will belong to different group. Let's say they belong to India group. And this 2 computer will belong to US group. So this is how we can group. So give the group name, any name you can use in the square bracket. And after this, what you write is the group. So this means this 2 IP belongs to India group. Then we normally give one new line, or more new line. Then give the second group name, and this 2 IP belong to US group. Okay. Now, if I write all is a special group that contain all the IP addresses. But if you want to see all the IP that belong to India groups, I can write EIN, only 2 IP. I want to see all IP belongs to US group. Okay, all the 5 I come up. Why all this 4 come up? Because whatever you write after this belongs to US group. Okay, this is how we can create the groups. Okay. So same thing we can do, and let me remove here because I don't have this IP address here. I'll just show you as a testing purpose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this group a name called web group. And this group, I want to go give the name called DB group, for example. Okay. So this IP, or maybe we have more IP, belongs to web group or team A. This belongs to project B, DB group, whatever you would like to write here. Okay. Now, technically, if you say all, these are the all inventory we have. And this is what exactly all we write here in this file. So, but I write here in this file all means all the computer we have in the inventories. So this all is same. Means apply this playbook in all the computer. But if I write here web group, this is called host group or host group. Only one IP we have. Now, if you want to apply the playbook only in the web group, so we can add web here. And maybe in the web, right, we have 1 IP or maybe 100 IP come in the future. Okay, we can apply this playbook there. So now if I run the playbook, come on, where's the command? So Ansible playbook web. Now they only apply the playbook only in the web group. So here only web group have one single IP address. Okay, so guys, management would be so simple if you do in this way. Because in the company, there are thousands of computers. Every computer you have to configure different things. So your project team, your managers will decide, okay, in which all computers we want to apply what. Okay, so in that task we will apply in the web group. And this is also, guys, very interesting concept. Why? Right now, there's a possibility you would like to configure web server only in one computer, let's say 1. So in the web group, you say IP1 would be only 1 computer that belong to web group. Or in the playbook, what we write, okay, run the playbook only to this web group. Means right now in my web group, we have one IP address. Okay. And which IP address belongs to web group? Only one IP. Apply this task here. Okay. So technically, this is a playbook. In this playbook, we write one play. I told you guys in my last class, go play. This play is applied only in this group. It does not matter in this group, we have one IP or more. So if you run this code or this playbook, they're going to run one play because one host equal to one play. They run this play to this group and this group have one IP. So all the tasks will run on this IP only. Here, they run one play. By in this group, we have one IP, they apply on the one IP. But in the future, okay, there's possibility that you need one more computer as a web server. I want this computer also to be configured as a web server. Okay, so you don't need to change anything in the playbook. You don't have to open the code because mostly it is good practice. After we write the code by the developer, we test the code, thing is working fine, then close the code. Don't open it. Okay, by opening the code might done some mistake, they might think will fail. After code test, everything done is good practice. Normally, don't try to do some changes in the code because it's well tested maybe. But in the future, if you want, there's one system has been already configured web server. Due to some reason, you might have more traffic come up, more load come up. You want to add one more computer and configure the web server. So what can you do without opening your code, without changing anything in the code? Okay, you can just go to your inventory, wherever the inventory you have, and put one more computer here. That's all. Just by adding one more host or the target node to your same group. Okay, you know what happened? Okay, this computer will also behave like a web server. Okay. configure as a web server just by adding one more computer here. It means now if you're in the playbook, same playbook without changing the code, automatically one more computer may be added. It is more like a scale. So last time I have one computer, we added one more computer. So scaling is so simple in the Ansible world. I see here last time when I run same playbook without change, it was running only one computer. But now just by adding one node in my inventory, the same playbook is going to play web in 2 IP addresses. There's 2 systems they configured. Okay. And this consider, when I do something on the one computer, same thing if I do on the other computer, this is called scaling, but this is called horizontal scaling. So performing the horizontal scaling is a very key concept in today's requirement, in today's computing world. Is very simple and sophisticated in the Ansible. Okay, we'll see more example on it. Okay, in the upcoming classes, I'll show you how to set up the load balancers and auto service discovery and many more concepts in upcoming classes. I'll take this topic a little bit more interestingly in my upcoming discussion. But I'm trying to give you the context here. Okay, that after we create the code, test the code, good practice, don't open the code. In all the coding world, or open means don't try to edit the code without changing the code. Okay, or you can think in this way. This code is been. Let me write this. So you can think in this way. Okay, this code has been written by your developer that is known as content creator. This code is called content. Okay, and this inventory is managed by your operations team, different team, infrastructure team or operations team. They say, we have some requirement. We had limited clients coming, so one computer was enough. Now my traffic increased. I have to scale more computer. Let me add one more computer. Just by adding one computer, entire setup will be set up there. So thing is what? Scale. We scale the thing. We scale the web server or database server, whatever you want to scale. Okay. So maybe both the things belongs to different team. Okay, so without doing any change on the content or in the playbook and the code, we can easily scale out. Or scale means adding more things is called scale out. We can scale out the thing very easily. Okay. Otherwise, we'll talk about this concept in more sophisticated way with some more powerful practice and use cases. Okay, this is one thing that can be done very easily with Ansible inventory. We'll talk more about the inventory. We have more better way to do more things in the inventory as we progress in this training. But just want to tell you, the inventory is not like only to give this information. Lots more management you can perform in the inventory. Okay, this is one thing. So let me focus more on the code right now. Okay, so let's focus more on the code. Now what I want to do. Okay, guys, in the code we can do something like this also, because more look like a programming. Okay, so we can create some variables also. Okay, we can create some variables. Okay, how? So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more new code. Let's say var.yml is a new code I'm going to create here. Okay, and I'm going to run this inventory in my own computer. Own computer also known as local host. Local host means I'm going to run my inventory in my same computer. Okay, what task I want to perform? In your personal computer, you can again install the package if you want. Okay, if you want to install some package, all the tasks you can run in the same computer. Good thing is Localhost means you own same computer. You don't need to add in the inventory. Localhost is by default there in the inventory. For example, let me install one software called HTTPD for testing purpose. Okay, so localhost may be my own computer. So I don't have any localhost entry in my list host. There's no localhost, but we can run it. So let me run Ansible playbook, this file. Okay, so they will run offending line format. Oh, sorry, this is the list actually. So I have to write -. So they run the localhost without adding any login and password inventory. They will run. So localhost, we can directly run the code because I'm running the same computer. Running the code here, running the same computer. So they install the software in the same computer here. Okay. So localhost, we can directly run and type the code without inventory. Okay. But what I'm going to do here, my plan is not to run the task. What can we do in the Ansible? There's one module. Okay. There's one module that we use to print something. If you want to print some message on the screen while running the playbook. Okay. So there's one module in the Ansible. Okay. So Ansible module called debug module. Okay. So debug is one module in the Ansible. If you want to print something, okay, it is the module to print something. When? During the execution of your code. Then this is the module we can use. Okay. And then what message you want to print, you can print it. Okay. So module is called debug, colon. Then they have one parameter called MSG, colon. Let's say I want to print, hi, I am woman. So any programming language, if you guys know your print command or echo command, it's something like this. So Ansible, if you want to print something on the screen, then debug is a module. What message you want to print? The key and value pair. Okay. So let me run this code and they're printing the message on the screen here. Message, hi, I'm well. They print the message. Okay. So this one module we have, debug. Now, in the Ansible, we have a way to create a variables. Like in other programming language, we create a variable as x equals to 5. This is a variable, this is the value. Same thing we can do in Ansible also. There's a keyword called var keyword. Okay. And because we can create multiple variables, so there's a list. So we can create a lot of list of variables. So var is a kind of list where I can say x equals to 5, y equals to 10, all the things. Okay. So that's how we can do here. But again, everything in Ansible is key value pair. So x is a key, then colon, this value, y is a key, then 10 is a value. Okay. The point here is we have to create a variable before the task. So anybody who know a little bit about local or the global variable, say like a global variable means you create the variable before the task. So this variable we can use anywhere. We can use multiple modules. For example, one module called debug, one module called package. Okay. So I can use this x variable here also, x variable here also. Okay. So normally we create the variable before the task keyword, then makes this variable global. Global means this variable we can use anywhere. Okay. So this is one thing. And why we need a variable, I'll tell you in a minute. If you know a little bit about any programming language, why we need the variable, same use we have here, but I will tell you in a minute. Okay. So this is one thing. But let's say we have one variable called x and y. Now, if you want to print the value of x, so we can write in this way, x. Okay. It means what I'm looking for, we have created one variable called x with the value 5. I want my debug module will take the value of x, go 5 and print for me. Let's see does they're doing or not. So I'm running this playbook, but here guys, they printed X as it is. Okay, why? Because message is a module. So message is a property in the debug that will print only the string. If you want to print any variable value, so in the debug, we have var keyword. Okay, that will print the variable values. Okay, so instead of message, what we have to do, we have to use var keyword. Var keyword, even though we see some examples also, and down they will normally show you. Okay, var and the variable name. Okay, so let me comment this. Let me run this code. Guys, here now the value of X will be printed. So it is your choice. If you want to print just a message like a normal string, then you can MSG keyword. Okay. Or if you want to retrieve the variable and you want to print their value, for example, X is a variable, I want to print their value, then we can use var keyword in the debug. Depend what you're looking for. Okay. And one more thing I want to add. If you have a message MSG is what is one kind of property. What they do, they print the string. Okay, so this is string. Let's say X is a string. Let's say, hi, I am Vimal. Take care. Bye. They print the string, right? And if you guys know any programming language, normally we put the string in the double quotes. But in some programming language, okay, most of some programming language, I can say, if you have a string and in the string, if you want to print some variable here, let's say I want to print variable X. So what I want to do, this is the entire string. In the entire string, I want to print X here, the value of X here, I can say. Okay. So how can I do? For example, if I try to do so right now, they treat X as a normal string, they print X as it is, but I don't want this. What I want this string will print as it is, but wherever I have the X, they will print their value. So for this, there's one concept we use in the programming language. It's called string interpolation. Okay, what I mean by the string interpolation, that mostly is there in all the programming languages. We can do also in the Ansible. Okay, what we can do, okay, we can say this is the entire string. Anything in the double quotes is a string, means use as it is. But in this string, only this part is don't treat as a string. This part treat as a variable. And what are the value of this guy is replace here when we use it and when you print it. Right now we're printing, print it. Or you want to use somewhere in the future, use it. Okay, use as a normal value, not a normal string. Okay, so in the entire string, if you want to replace some variable with the value, this is called string interpolation. Every programming language has a different way to do so. In the Ansible, if you want to do interpolation, then we use double curly braces. Okay, by this, you are telling to Ansible before the curly braces and after the curly braces, we have a normal string. Use as it is, print as it is, because we are debug, print as it is. But whatever we have between the double curly braces, guys, by the way, here no space here, is a continuous curly braces. Okay, now treat this X as string and X is a variable, use this value. Okay, and now when you print this, you can see here, they replace with their value 5. Okay, but if you give after this symbol, if you give no space after the X, okay, that's also a work here. That will work, but between the curly braces, you can't give the space. Give the space here, in the curly braces, between curly braces, they will fail normally here, or either they treat this guy as a normal string. So to use no space here. Okay, so this is how we do. It means if you want to use any variable between the double quotes, then you have to use this symbol. That's what I'm trying to tell you finally. Okay, again, I'm repeating, if you want to use any variable between the string or the double quotes, then this symbol you have to use. Okay, this is one point. Now, based on this information, let's come back to our main code. Okay, why I explain this concept to you? Because we are going to use variable over here. So normally, you know what we do. Okay, it is good practice. It's good practice. Right now, we are installing a software called HTTPD. Okay, but in the future, I would like to change my software name. Or I'm uploading the file this one. But in the future, I want to change my file name, which to upload. It can be anything. So you know what, guys, is good practice in the programming world. Okay, if you think you write this code, but in the code, anything you might change in the future. Let's say you want to change the file name to upload. So in good practice, don't go to the code at this level, at this depth, and change here in the code. It's not good practice. You can do, but it's not good practice. Instead, what can you do? Okay, instead you go and change here. This name, this information, this string, you can create and put in the variable. Or let's say the variable name would be, let's say, page name. Page name is variable name, and here they can give the value index.html. And this variable you can use here. Okay, means I can create one variable here, where's, because where means multiple variables we have, or because multiple variables we can use -, means a list of variable, or let me give a variable name called x, and I'm giving this variable a value index.html. Okay, and now what can you do? Instead you write index.html here, you can give the variable name. Okay, and because I'm giving the variable name in the double quotes, and I told you guys, if whenever you want to use a variable in the double quotes, okay, we don't write type directly, otherwise they treat as a normal string. So the copy might feel the x is not a file name, or it's not a variable. They treat this as a file name. To tell this is not the file name, this is a variable name, we use double parenthesis here. That is also one of the reasons is good practice. Any value that you give by yourself, always put in double quotes. Because if you use the double quote, then we can use this way to create the variables. Okay. Now, what's the benefit of this code? The benefit of this code is now my code is a little bit flexible. Okay. Flexible means right now the code is very simple, but we have bigger complex code that we keep slowly develop. Okay. So my developer has created a better plan. The developer know that in the future there is a very common thing that somebody want to upload the file, but the file name will be different every time. So rather than my developer or other one who want to use this code, they keep on changing this file name here. There might be some spelling mistake might happen. Okay, they create one variable, and this variable value they update here. So what is the benefit? In the future, if anybody want to change the file name, they don't have to change over here in the main code. They will do on the top of the file. They will only update here. Okay, and let's say they update the file name is a vimal.html. So this file value changed, variable changed, so this is updated here. Okay, now this is the reason why we use a variable in any programming language. So why we create a variable in the programming language? This is the only reason. So we keep the value somewhere and we keep on using. Or we change somewhere, everywhere change in the code. So there's a use case why we use the variable. Here, this variable is also known as, I can also give one more term here. So I can say copy module now is been gone by this variable. What is the value of the variable? They will take this file and upload here. So this is also known as parameterized. So X is like a parameter. Or I can say my copy module has been parameterized from the variable or the parameter known as X. So either you can use the word parameter or the variable, it is same thing. But typically in this world of IT, operation and automation world, we don't use the word parameter. So we don't use the word variable much, we use the word parameter. And whoever controlling, your variable controlling, to whom they are controlling, we can say this copy has been now parameterized. This is a way normally we speak. Otherwise, you can use your way of how you want to communicate. Okay, otherwise, the code is same. Okay, there's no difference in the code. Okay, when you run this code, same output gonna come up, but it's better practice to write a code in this way. Okay, same thing gonna happen. They upload the file this way. But benefit would be now in the future, if some more new file gonna come, let's say v.html gonna come or vimal.html gonna come up by your developer. Let's say I am Vimal. Okay. Now, if you want to upload this file to your target node, okay, so you don't have to go and change the file here. Now we have this kind of variable. We just change the file name here. That's all. Okay, just change here. Automatically they replace here and the file will be uploaded. Before I upload, I want to show you, I don't have this file in my target node. This is my target node. Inside this folder, this file is not there. But as soon as I'm a playbook, the file will upload it. Okay. So this is one of the use. You can say copy module something changed. And this file has been uploaded in my target computers with this content. So it's good practice. Okay. You have to think what thing you will feel is keep on changing. You can think this folder is always same. So there's no good reason to create a variable. But think your software name might change. So what can you do? You can create one variable. You can create one variable P and give the software name here HTTP. But it's good practice. Always give a variable a better name. Not X and Y is not good practice. So give you a better name called package. Name is a variable name. Okay. This is the file name or web page. And standard practice in the market, we normally give the better name that makes sense. Not give P or package. You give package name. Not give page. Give a page name. Give a proper English term. And practices, we don't give a space here in the variable like in normally do. We don't do any programming language. And a good practice is first character we give a small case and second character we give a capital case. If I don't give so, then it won't be proper readable. It's very harder to read. So we always give this is called camel case. Give the first small and second word capital. This better practice we use in the market. Okay. So here, now wherever you have the package name, just give the variable name here. Is a package name. Okay. This is the web page. So in the future, to change the package name, or we can give the version also HTTP 2.4, 2.7. We just change here. This is the version name 2.4, 2.5. We can give here. Okay, all the things we can very easily control. Okay, right now there's nothing changed much. Even though let me go for the same file name, index.html. So it will be performed for you. Okay, so it is good practice to write a code in this way. We'll do much more thing in that context. Okay, but guys, there's one very powerful topic in the Ansible That's called role. Role is one of the advanced topic, but if you start practicing in this way, okay, this topic or role I'll take in the upcoming classes, will look very, very simple to you. Okay, most of the guys in the market feel, okay, a role is very advanced topic, is very harder to understand. Okay, but I can give a guarantee. Okay, if you start learning the Ansible or programming in the right way, right approach, then this level advanced topic will look very, very simple to you. And it will happen in all my other trainings also. They feel now, when I start this topic, they feel this topic is so simple, nothing too complex. Okay, if you start using this right approach. Okay, and plus there's one topic called content collection also. It's also a new topic added in this new version of Reddit 294. Okay, again, creating the collection is also so simple for you, right? After you applying this right practices here. It's not compulsory practice, but I'm talking about the better practice and the right way to write the code, not in Ansible and any programming languages. Okay, so this is also one thing I added here. Okay, so now onward, guys, I'm going to keep on writing the variable in this way. We'll talk more about the variable, okay, in some time. Let me stop this topic here. Okay, so let's do some more thing in the playbook. But if you notice, guys, here, okay, if you notice here, we are just declaring what we're looking for, right? I want this software to be installed. I want this service to be started. We're declaring the thing. Okay, we're not asking, we're not saying this guy how to install it. They know how to install, they know how to copy. That's what I told you my last couple. Again, I'm repeating that nature is called declarative nature. Okay, so that's what Ansible is performing, that I use the word called intelligence way. Okay, but right now, what I am doing here, this is a computer. If you see the Ansible version here, 2.13, where there's a version, this system is being installed with Ansible core. Okay, core means they are running the Ansible engine here. And same system, we have the code, and same system we are using for the execution. Okay, so technically this entire system is known as Ansible controller node. And same system we are doing using for the in managing the inventory also. Okay, right now for learning purpose, that makes sense because we are learning. But in the real world, okay, we in the bigger enterprise, if you will work or you guys are working on, okay, what we want a separate system only for management purpose. Okay, only for management purpose. Okay, where we want my code to be managed, means copied, okay, and inventory to be managed. But we want separate computer for the execution. Okay, here, even though lots more thing, I want to see that all the inventory that I have, okay, I want to monitor those inventories. Even though, guys, in the bigger world nowadays, it is a game of because this computer we normally take on the rent from the cloud per hourly basis, per monthly basis. I want to see the billing. Okay, how much time the system is running for, how much the estimated bill gonna come up, so we can according plan our projects according to budgets we have. We want to see the metrics, the graph. Okay, right now anybody can see the password, but I want to control this password credential, that this team can't see, this team can see, this team can manage this inventory, this team can manage and run this playbook, this team can't able to run this playbook. Okay, so in the bigger enterprise world, this level of controls we would like to perform. Okay, and to perform this control, Okay, that is a reason we don't use this core Ansible directly in the enterprise world. Okay, it is good for learning purpose, maybe some small testing purpose, but in the enterprise world, we use this bigger tool that is called Ansible Tower. Okay, and because running the playbook is not enough, right? You have to write a workflow also. If you guys watch with me in my yesterday webinar, I explained you what a workflow, very high level. Okay, I want first to configure web server. If web server successfully configured, then we'll put the firewall. It's configured, then put the networking, put the network storage devices. Okay, otherwise they failed, then this happened. They failed, then send the email notifications. Okay, this is our workflow. So those level of things we need. We need entire product or network or entire setup to be automated from end to end. Okay, we can't control this from the Ansible code. We need bigger controller. That is one of the great product. So almost every company who is using Ansible, almost every company using Ansible Tower. I'm just giving this point to you. Okay, why I'm giving? Because I highly recommend, because you guys are investing much time here in the Ansible code. So I highly recommend also to learn Ansible Tower that we are going to start from tomorrow. And according to me, till date, okay, I myself keep on delivering training for the tower only for the corporate world. And this is the first time I open this batch publicly, right? And this is the first public batch I open, maybe only batch for maybe at least for 1 year and 1.5 years for the Ansible Tower. So it's a good time because we now learn a lot of things already about Ansible. So good time to start learning together. Okay, the Ansible core and the Ansible Tower together to see all the power capability what Ansible Tower has. So highly recommend for you guys in the automation world to learn this tool also. Okay, so there is one point from my side. My team will update you for the timing and other things. If you guys, I think some of the guys already there in the tower, but otherwise can think and plan on this. Okay, so let's continue with this discussion on the Ansible code. And let's do some more thing in this code. Okay, now what can we do here in this code? Let me do some kind of this plan. Okay, if you guys know about web server, okay, and you know guys, we have asked my team, right, and we have shared some videos to you about the web server. So if you guys go through my web server classes that are about the Apache web server classes, okay, and I recommend to go through this video from my Linux classes, and there I talk a little bit about the Apache web server. Okay, and what I talked about there. Okay, if you want to configure the Apache web server the way you want to configure, for example, right now in this computer, Apache web server has been running. Configure. Who configure? Ansible configure. Let me change a little bit something here. Okay, they keep on ring the bell. I don't want this. Okay, so in this computer we have installed the software. Okay, so the way we have configured, what step we have done, we install the software. This is for first step we have done. Second step, what we have done, we copy the page here. So we copy web page here. First step, what we have done, okay, we have start the services. Who will start the services? Ansible. Okay, so this was the plan we did in the last class, right? We start the services, HTTPD. Okay, so depend upon the requirement. Okay, so my team said this is what the step we do. So they create this kind of README file or this kind of document. Okay, after this document created, converting this document into the playbook is very, very simple. Okay, so this document we had converted into this code here. First step, second step, third steps. Convert into code. Okay, and that is the reason Ansible playbook is also known as document. So this is more like a document. So if I give this code to anyone, it more look like a document. And what this document says that we are configuring something. First, we're installing the software, copying something, return services. So that is the reason Ansible playbook is also more look like a document, means we documented something. What are the steps we perform to configure something? And that is the reason this is also known as content. So what we have created, we created content for our use case. Our use case is to configure web server. So that is more look like a content we created or document we created. So sometimes Ansible playbook is known as content and the document. But depending on requirement, maybe in the company we have a requirement that I don't want to copy web pages into this folder. This is the by default folder we have. So if you guys go through my video, I told you in Apache Web Server, the by default folder where we keep our web pages is this one. And that folder in the Apache Web Server is called document root. This is a concept we use in Apache Web Server. Okay. But maybe in some requirements, some project, what you want to do, you don't want to, you don't want to use this as a by default document root. You're going to change it. Okay. Means you don't want to copy your web page here. Copying the web page, you guys know, is called deploying. You don't want to copy here. Okay. So what you're looking for, your requirement would be I have to install the software. Then what I want to do, I want to create a new folder. Let's say folder name go where www, let's say Linux world folder. Okay. And then my third step would be I would look to copy, deploy a web page, not in this folder, in this folder. So you have one more step's going to come up in between. But you know you create the folder. Okay. But web server is still using this folder. So you have to update your web server. Then now onward, this is not my default folder for my website. I want to change my default location. This is called document root. So guys, every server mostly come with the internal file. This is called configuration file. So in the config file, we update. Now onward, this is not the folder. Now a new folder would be that one. Okay. So we have to do one more step. To tell to my configuration file, every server has their own personal config file of the web server. Okay, Apache web server, that now new document root will be this one. So any client come up, don't look to this folder HTML, look for this folder. And the same folder we are going to copy the file. Okay. So depending on the requirement, you might have more steps going to come up for configuration. This is step 4. Now this is step 5th. Now what is the order of the step? Ansible does not know. You should know about your project. You want to show first software, then create a folder, then copy, then configure file. It depends. Some step may be different. For example, without installing the software, you can't start the services. So you should know first you have to perform this step, then this step. Because the way you write your code, same way they want to run it. They run in the sequence. First they run this, then they run this, then they run this. We can set a dependency. There's a concept called handler. And dependencies we'll talk about in upcoming discussion. But right now, the way you write is the sequence. The first one, the second and third, same sequence the code will run. And this sequence will decide from your plan, your steps, what steps you want to perform. Okay, so let's do this. Before I do this, let me do it manually to just give you the context. Even though, guys, if you go through my web server classes video, that's the reason we have given this video to you. So for those who does not know about web server, they can get the idea. So you can sync very easily with Ansible. Okay, but let me show you. Let's say what I want to create a different document root. Let's say where www. I create this folder. Right now I'm doing it manually. In this folder, I'm going to create or create a file as a pop.html. I am pop. In this folder, this file created. But we know this folder we created with this file. My Apache web server does not know this. So in Apache web server, we can do this setting change. How? There's one folder called etc httpd conf.d. This is an internal configuration folder for Apache. If you want to do any changes in the Apache web server, so what you have to do, you have to create some file here. You can give a file with any name. Let's say my extension should be conf only. Okay. So this is the setting from the Apache web server. They say in this folder, you can create any file with the extension only.conf, and any changes you want to perform, you can change here. For example, I want to say here that my document root have been changed, means where I will deploy web page has been changed. So I can write here, my document root is internal keyword from Apache web server has been changed to this folder. That's what. Now, according to Apache web server, okay, now they won't read the web page from where.html folder. They read the web page only from this folder. Okay. Or because we change something in the Apache internal files or the conf file, you have to restart the services. So HTML restart HTTPD. Is a restart the better practice to use reload. Now in this system, we have two folders, where.html that contain these files. This is the by default document root. But I created one more new folder called where.ww. Okay. Now in this computer, let me go and take the IP address. Okay. And this is this computer. In this computer, if anybody go and try to read this file, it's not found. Why? Because now this is computer I changed, don't read this folder. If they don't read this folder, this file won't be readable. Why? I change to this folder. Now any file in this folder can be readable. For example, if we try to read pop.html, we can read it. Because this is a pure console, not of Ansible. It is a console from Apache web server. Now this file can be readable. So what I change in this system, I change my document root. Okay. And in this document root or in this folder, I will deploy new web pages or new website. Right now, I did this thing manually just to quickly show you the concept. Otherwise, you can go to the video. I discussed this thing in more basic and more details level. Okay. But now we know the concept. Now, same thing what I did here. What I did, I go to this folder. Sorry, HTTPD, this is internet web conf folder. And what I did here, same thing I have to do with the Ansible. But for the, you should know where you have to change. Ansible does not know which folder you want to change. So you should have to tell the Ansible, go to this folder, create some file, something like this. Sorry. Inside this file, you write this content. Okay. This thing you have to tell to the Ansible. Okay, because Ansible know what to do. I mean, they know how to do. If you ask Ansible create this folder, they create for you. Ask Ansible to create this file, they create for you. But where to create, what to put, obviously Ansible does not know. You know your requirement. And let's say you are the Ansible developer, maybe you don't know the requirement. Then you can ask to your web server guys. They will tell you, this is a folder where we do, and this is a thing we do with change. They will tell you. But somebody will tell you. Then after you know the information, after get this knowledge, then you can convert into code. Okay, so let me do the things again from my side. Let me remove this file. Okay, and let me restart my services. restart better with reload command. Okay, again, we come back to the same setting. I don't have this file, but we have this file. This is by default setting we had. Now let me do the same thing with the Ansible. And what I want to do, I've added 2 steps. Okay, so I'm going to Ansible, and according to my plan, I would like to install the packages that I did already. Then I want to create a folder. Let me do this step here. So my plan is to create the folder. And how to get the folder? Let's say we don't know. We asked to the Ansible. Okay, Ansible. Okay, anyway to create folder. There's also known as directory. Okay, how to create directory, any module we have. Okay, then they might give you mostly the first link, and this link say we have module called file module. Okay, is there in the software available, and by this module we can do something on the files also, directory also, something like this. Okay, and if you see here, okay, mostly guys in all the document they give you some examples in the last. Okay, examples in the last, this one. And this example say if you want to create a file, then you can use this line. So this file module, we can give the path through which we can get the file. Or you will also find some example. Okay, if you want to create a directory, then again use the file module, give the path, and the state would be directory. If you use the state keyword directory, then directory will be created. That's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do, again, the same intent, same space. I say my module is file. And my plan is to create directory. So state will be a directory. And where I want to create directory? Path. Obviously, you should know where your path is. So according to my plan, I want to create my directory in this folder. In this folder. That's what. So with the help of Ansible, you directly create it. Now it does not matter, guys, the command is what mkdir, whatever command would be, but in your web inventory host group, this directory will be created. Okay, or if you don't know much about state, then you can see obviously in the complete document, state means if you use the state directory, okay, then you will read this document. They will say they will create the directory. If the directory does not exist, they will create the directory for you. Okay, that's what they do for you. So let me very quickly run this code, at least till here, on the playbook. So when I run this playbook, Ansible playbook, one more task I added. You can see this file task run. I changed something, but there's also some changes. And in all the computer, you can see where www, and where www, this folder was not there, it's created. If you go to other computer also, okay, where www, this folder created. Now this folder does not contain anything. Okay, so what we'll do, again, we change something in the code. Now onward, whenever I want to deploy any web pages, don't deploy here, deploy in this folder. And there's a possibility, guys, in the future, might want to change this folder. But that's one thing, if I change folder here, I have to change here also. Okay. So maybe right now, you know what I did? I changed folder here, but forgot to change here. My file copy in another location. So that is one of the reasons why we want to use our variables. So here I can give the variable name, let's say folder name, or let me give the name called document directory. Okay, and here let me give the name called where www. In the future, I want to change, I can change directly here. But my variable name is this one. So wherever I want to give the directory name, you can give the variable. So by mistake, if you forgot to change somewhere, it automatically update. So I want to update here, update also here. The same thing gonna repeat multiple times. So why I don't write every time. Just use the variable name and take the things from here. Okay. So save the code. Let me apply the playbook. Now they create the directory, they upload the file in their respective directories. See, they're copying. And now what I missed in the last time, in this folder, the upload here. Same thing in this folder, upload here with this content. Okay. But according to my plan, I need to do one more last thing. Create the configuration file. So for this, okay, I want to create plus also put the content. Okay. So in the file module, we can create the file. But in the file module, okay, this module I'm talking about right now, I don't think so we have a way to copy the content. So for this, guys, in the last class, I talked about the copy module. Copy module has a capability to create the file also and upload the content and create the content both. If you want to create a content also, we have the content keyword here. Okay, what I mean by this. So in this file, what I'm looking for, I would like to create a file here in this location. In this file, I want to copy this content. Okay, so what I can do, okay, in my step number 3, so let me do before this. I would like to use a copy module, and in copy module, we can write src source, not src, destination. In the destination, in this file, in all the computer, this is my configuration file. And copy module, guys, what they do, if this file is not created, they will create for you. How I know? In the copy module, if you see the destination, right? Okay, you will give the path. Okay, and if the file is not exist, if not exist, they will create for you. If you try to read this, they will create for you. But in this file, what you want to copy? You want to copy this content because this is part of the configuration. So in the content keyword, we can pass. Okay, so we can write a content keyword. What content I want to copy? This content. Understand one thing, guys, copy module has different things. One, we can upload the file also. If any file that you have in local computer, we can upload. But if you don't have the file, you only want to copy the content. Let's say, hi, hello. We can copy the content here. But what I wanted, the way I explained to you, okay, this is the configuration file. I given the path of the configuration file. In this file, I want to copy this content the way I show you manually. This content to copy, because for the website perspective, this content has a meaning. This content means to do something on the document root. Okay, like that has been configured. So now let me run this playbook again. Okay, now we are installing the package file and see the copy the content. Now what you will see in all the computers, okay, in HTTPD, okay, this file created, this is a config file created with this content here. This is what the content we're looking for. Same thing, other computer also, etc, HTTPD, same location, this conf file created with this content. That's what we're looking for. And according to this file, one file, anything that is inside this folder, that's what web server is talking about, has been hosted, has been published. Why? Because this is what the conf file is talking about. Yeah, new line does not come here. Okay, if you want to give the new line, then in the Ansible, because technically for the Ansible perspective, this is like a string. And then string, guys, if you want to give the new line, you can use escape sequence, \n. Okay. For us, it is the keyword of the conf file. But for the Ansible, this is like a string. And in the string, guys, if you want to give a new line, you can use \n. It will give the new line to the content. This makes code look clean. Okay, so whatever you do with new line escape sequence, you know, \n, \t, you can write here. Now it come better, like in proper new line gonna come up here also, and here also new line. Sorry, in this folder, this file, it will give you proper new line gonna come up. One more thing is good practice again, because we are doing something in this folder. Maybe in the future, our folder will change. I will change here. So for a folder, I change here, same folder will create, same folder will file upload, but same folder I will change in my conf file. So it's good practice. Don't give this folder name here directly. Better give the variable name. Now this code become more dynamic. So anybody who use this code, they don't have to change it here. They change the variable name here. So whatever variable name they change, same folder created, same folder name update in the configuration file, and same folder will update the web pages. This is also one of the good use of the variables, right? Okay, it's better practice to do in this way. Code will be again do the same thing. Okay, same thing here. Now it has been updated. Okay. Now, one thing, guys, this code does not work. Now, if anybody will see my website, index.html, new website, they can see the content. Okay. But you know, guys, right now, this content is coming from the older web page. Okay. Older folder. What do I mean by this? For example, if I change something in this content that we are uploading, let's say I'm changing something, I'm just using here new page. I change in my this file, and this same file, what we are doing, we are uploading this file. We are uploading this file in the new document load, Okay. So we are uploading this file, but what you will see, we upload this new file. See here, something changed. But if you refresh this page, you're still seeing the old web pages. New web page does not come. Okay. Why? Because, guys, it's a very common thing. Okay, whenever you do some change in the configuration folder, you upgrade some new conf file or change something in the conf file, you have to reload your services. Okay, you have to reload your services. Okay, but what Ansible is doing, according to the Ansible, okay, they are only checking the service running or not. Okay, they see in your target system service is already running. Okay, and that's what they're happy. I'm looking for they are running or not. My current state is equal to the desired state. And this is already running. So they skip this part because of the idempotent nature. So idempotent nature is good. In this case, it's not working. Because we ask them to start service, they say, I've seen service there already running, so I'm not want to start this again. But in this case, we would like to restart the services. Why? Because according to my code, I'm changing something in the conf file. And conf file only update if you change, restart your services or reload your services. That is the reason in this example, what we have to do, in the Ansible service module, okay, service module, wherever they are, okay, we have one more keyword that's called reload. So maybe you go to service module, Ansible, okay, instead of restarted, we will use a keyword called reloaded. Okay, reloaded. Straight here means every time you run this program, reload this file. Maybe something changed in the conf file, reload it. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Again, this is not the better way to perform this task. We have one more advanced concept that we'll discuss. In this is not the better way to perform this task. We have one more advanced concept in my next class called handler. We'll do with the handler, but right now our job will be done. Okay. Now, finally, what we have done, new website has been updated where we have done according to our changes in all the computers has been updated. So my point here is, okay, Ansible do only those things whatever we ask them to do. And now if I compare these two things together, okay, we ask the Ansible, okay, to install the software, they install for us. How to install, they know, but you have to ask them. Ask them to create the directory, they create for us. We ask them to copy the conf file, they copy for us. But where to copy, you should know. What to change the file, you should know. And maybe, let's say you're the Ansible content creator, maybe you can ask to the web server guys, they will tell you what to change. Ask them to, sorry, to copy the file, they copy the file for you. If I ask them to start the services or reload the services, they reload for you. So you have to tell their requirement. Accordingly, they will perform over here. Okay, and that's what done. And finally, based upon my requirement, my use case, my steps, okay, Ansible is doing the thing for you in the automation way, plus in the intelligence way. Only the last part is not very, very powerful, reload. We have better way to do it. Why is good? We'll discuss in my tomorrow class. We have tomorrow class again, and I'll give you a better way. This concept called handler. We'll do with the handler in my tomorrow class on this task. But I want to add one more last thing here before we conclude today's class. Right now, when we run the playbook, in one play, we have a lot of tasks actually. If you see the copy task, again, we have a copy task. But both the copy tasks are doing something else for you. So guys, always here, they print your task name. So it's very harder when this code run, it's very harder to understand what they're copying here, what they're copying here. So what can we do is always good practice. Whenever you create task, every task give a name with the name keyword. So I can say here, copying con file. Okay, or I can say setting up con file. Then give the module name in the same intent. So every task we can give the name. For example, this copy, I can give the name. Okay, deploy web page. And how? By this module. And name and copy would be in same intent because they belong to same part. Okay, it's good practice. Always give all the tasks a name. Let's say installed HTTPD package. Okay, this one create doc root, just a name. Okay, and here I can say name reload services. Now what happened when you run the code? Your code look pretty simple. Okay, now they will give you proper name what they're doing in the task. Okay, so something failed, we come to know, okay, this task failed. Okay, maybe both are copy tasks, but we know with this task fail or they run or they reload or they change. So things will be more look clear when somebody run your code or you run your code by yourself. Okay, so this is good practice. So that is a reason, guys, if you see any document of the Ansible, we will see a code will be more like this. So you see any document, okay, this is how everyone will write the code in examples. Here, this is how name, then do the things, name and do the things. One more last thing, one more minute I want to take here. Okay, Ansible is a good document available in this online internet website, but they have the document also available in the command line also. So wherever you install the Ansible, they have the document available. For example, if you're on the Ansible, there's a command called doc. And if you want to know anything about any module, like service module, so give the module name or the task name. They open the doc in the local computer wherever we install the Ansible. See here? So that is service of one module. They manage the services and the service module. These are the keywords they support: argument, enabled. We have Boolean, true or false, name, give the name of service. And also they give the examples, how to use this. This is the examples they give you. Name, your service name, start, all the things. So a lot of interesting examples they give you here in the command line. One more thing, guys, they tell you here is, if you use service module, then some property double means is mandatory. So any property start with double, like equals to, is mandatory. For example, argument is not mandatory, enable is not mandatory, but giving the service name is mandatory. So if you're using the service module, okay, then name is mandatory. Otherwise, you don't give anything else. Giving the name is mandatory. Enable, if you don't write or write, it will be your choice. Okay, so they give you a command line help, right? So if you're working on the real environment or in the examination, maybe you don't have to go for this document. Everything is there available in doc. Or even though we can do one more thing, Ansible have a doc, there's a list that tell you all the module available in this case right now: service module, copy module, package module. They give you an entire list available. So these are the modules available right now. We have copy module, we have debug module, file module. So here they give you summary also, what this copy module is doing, what this fail module is doing, what this file module is doing. So we have an entire list, page down, we can see these are the modules available right now, like service module. And by looking at this module name, we can see the further help. For example, package module is there. I can go to the name in the list, then I can see, can you tell me more about the package module? Okay, now this module is helping us to install those packages. Okay, name we can give by the syntax, state we can give a present is absent, and they give some more examples also here how to use this. We can also copy paste this example and use directly. Or we can use the variable name also to use it. Okay. So it's a good command. Okay. It's helpful if you don't have internet access or working on the examination, maybe to quickly take the help from here. Okay. So a lot of examples, guys, I've discussed. I'll share this code to you, practice, set up the environment and practice for you. A lot of examples I explained to you, tons of concepts we discussed today. We'll go and discuss something more basic and more advanced in upcoming class. Tomorrow we have again the class. First, tomorrow we are starting the tower also. Again, highly recommend, very, very advanced, powerful industry and level kind of tool. It is anybody who are going for AAP training also, advanced training of Ansible, Ansible automation platform. Again, knowledge of tower is very important. Even though, guys, if you guys watched with me in my last webinar, anybody who is going for AAP training, we are giving tower training free. We are not charging anything for the tower training. Okay, even though tower training market cost is between 20 to 30,000 rupees just for training, right? But if we're giving entire training free, if you're going for AAP training, that is a program name, I believe. Some name 467 actually, 467 from Red Hat. I think you was there with me in my webinar, but anybody who are planning to go for this advanced training, okay, then AAP training, so tower training is completely free for you guys. Okay, and here we have some more powerful topic to be discussed. One interesting thing about this training is the first one. Linux was the one who launched this training in the entire region or maybe in the entire world. And those who will learn this AAP and give the examination will be the top 10 one, or top 51 in the world who've been certified. So you will get this powerful title. You will keep you with you always. So this is what I explained, told in my last webinar, but just want to quickly reference this point. Okay. So that's all, guys. This concept we discussed. We'll see you tomorrow. Any query if you have till now, you guys can ask. Any query if you have. Yes, Manohar, yesterday PPT I think you're talking about. I shared this PPT with my team, so they will share with you. Yes, Mohini, we can also set the target for Windows, even though according to our program, we don't have a Windows target node to be done in this training 294, but I definitely try in my upcoming classes. Okay, to make Windows as a target node. Even though Red Hat has one entire course on Windows automation or the Ansible, different course they have, because there are a lot of things to do there. But I'll try in this 294. I can take some example in future classes. When I put one computer as a Windows node for automation, I'll definitely try. So, Prasad, it is good practice. Don't use a tab. Okay. Sometimes putting the tab is very simple for the indentation purpose, but in some of the version of Ansible and some other tool also use YAML that does not support tab. Okay, for giving the indented space. So use a practice. Here the tab will work, but good practice, use the space bar to give the spaces. Okay. What is the V direct right X this without double quotes? Complex, it depend upon. Okay, it depend upon property to property and package to package. Some packages support X directly without the curly braces or without a string interpolation, but some of the things does not support. So having this practice is always good. Okay, having this practice is always good. Maybe if I write that package name directly here, maybe package module might support, but some module and keyword does not support. So make it a standard practice. Always you write this way, this approach that will support in all the keyword and the properties. Okay, so that's why I use this way to use this. What is slash n in content is a new line. Is a new line here. Okay, because this is just a content. I'm copying this file. Okay, if you want after content new line come up, I use backslash n. After this content, new line come up. Maybe after the new line, you can add more content also. But here I want to give a proper new line so that my file look proper when I open the file. It's just a new line. So timing for Ansible Tower batch, we guys update you. It will be tomorrow, maybe before or after the Ansible training, your normal Ansible training. So we'll update you exact time in your respective group for the Ansible Tower training. Are you going to cover entire Ansible Tower training under this training? Yes, Mohini, if you are the part of 447 training, okay, the entire Ansible Tower we are going to cover. But if you are going for this advanced training of Ansible, okay, 467. So in this training, we are giving Ansible Tower training free, but there we are covering the entire Tower training again completely. So I don't know which context you're talking about. So if you are going for 4.6 training, 4.6.7 training, there's an Ansible automation platform training. For those guys, we are giving Tower training free. And how much we are going to cover? We're going to cover everything. So entire training we are giving free. Only training we're giving free. So entire content going to cover in this AAP for you guys. Okay. No, Ismail, we don't use password-based authentication. I started with password-based to make the thing simple. In my next upcoming classes, I will convert the password-based into the key-based. Okay, this is called private key. I'll show you how. But initially, to make it the thing simple, I started with password. Will change in the upcoming classes. Just wanted to make sure I understood correctly. So you will going to cover all the kind of 447, 467, which is right. Yes, 100% right, Vipin. So I don't want any confusion, guys, right now. So there's 3 training we are running here. One is 294 that is going right now. One is 447, and one is this 467. Okay, 467. This training is about Ansible core, what we are learning right now. This training is only on Tower, Ansible Tower. This is on the latest updated new version called AAP that contain a lot of things about Ansible. Okay, so anyone who is enrolled for 467 training, okay, we are giving this training completely free. Completely free. Okay, not the small part, entire part, what our content is there. Free, but only training free. Obviously not examination, only training free. And this training, Tower, we are starting from tomorrow. Timing will update you guys. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Rajiv, my admin team will connect to you. They will give you a link of Ansible Tower training of my tomorrow batch for AAP guys. Ansible automation platform guys. They give to you. So don't worry, they will contact to you. Okay. Thanks for today's session. Thank you very much. So how we can get advanced to like Ansible? Deepak, is good thing you asked me. That was I always, been proud of the Earth students in upcoming classes. Yes. Okay. So Lakshman, you're asking, is AAP training then? What will be training on the Ansible Tower, right? I don't know, Lakshman, I don't know what exactly you're asking. Anything, guys, related to management related doubts, you can ask to my team. They will help you. They will help you. Eagerly waiting. Great, guys. I also waiting for the tower.